7 eerily disturbing old cartoons and animations. Now, I got a couple things to say before we get into this. First of all, I saw the thumbnail of this video and I'm already petrified. Alright? I already know that I am not gonna have a good time watching this. The second thing is, I don't know what possesses some people to create some of these animations, but a lot of these cartoons and animations are created for the sole purpose of entertaining children. And then you create one of the most horrific and demonic characters ever to put on a television screen that does nothing but traumatize the children. I feel like that's very counterproductive, dude. So I don't know who designs these awful, terrifying cartoons, bro, but they need to be dealt with immediately, dude. But anyways, 7 eerily disturbing old cartoons and animations. Shout out, blame it on Jorge. That's my guy. Go give him a big old juicy spanking on his like a sub. He likes being spanked. He told me personally. It's facts. It's facts.
What is it about old black and white cartoons, animations, and films that are just so unnerving? From the Fleischer cartoons to the classic Walt Disney shorts, there was always something about these classics that just gave off a disturbing vibe. The weird, surreal movements, the muffled voice acting, endless regulation and content control. It just seems like the perfect recipe for, well, fear. So today, we're going back in time to take a look at 7 eerily disturbing old cartoons and animations.
7.
Swing You Sinners, 1930.
That's not Jorge.
Our first cartoon is Fleischer Studios' 1913 tour cartoon short, Swing You Sinners.
I don't know who this dude
Bimbo
in my ear is, but I need some more of him, bro. It's soothing me. I feel at peace and serenity with this dude whispering in my ear, bro. It's nice, soft and luscious, right? It's got a nice vibration to it.
Swing You Sinners, featuring Bimbo the dog.
Bimbo.
The cartoon starts with Bimbo making his rounds, trying to steal chickens from coops. Unfortunately, the police are also making their rounds and catch him in the act. While running from the cop, Bimbo hides out in a graveyard. The gate then grows a mouth and swallows the key, locking Bimbo inside and sealing his fate. Tombstones, trees, and even the ground itself comes to life all around him, attempting to eat him, torture him, and beat him, all while singing a jazzy song about what a horrible person he is. In this jazz number, the ghosts berate and condemn him for the chickens he used to steal, crabs he used to shoot, and girls he used to chase. Eventually,
he's a real thug,
Bimbo
bro.
hides out in a barn, where this nightmare takes a turn for the worse. Pitchforks and scythes, possessed by demons, harass him and try to cut his throat, while a demonic version of the chicken from earlier appears and spasms uncontrollably towards him. After running outside, the entire barn transforms into a conglomerate of ghostly faces, chasing him all throughout the field.
Have I been drugged?
It's just bizarre imagery left and right, with a bizarre frog moving its arms around its body in an extremely uncomfortable way, as it stares directly into the viewer's eyes. Finally, Bimbo's head is chopped off, and he is swallowed by a giant skull as it lunges towards the camera, ending the cartoon. That's it. Earlier in the cartoon, Bimbo pleads with the ghosts,
Lovely.
claiming he's made efforts to be a better person. But the ghosts don't care. They cast him into the ghastly pits of hell, where he'll be forever trapped, headless and tormented. Some viewers have noted the similarities the cartoon has to real-life lynch mobs, as the cartoon is centered around a dark-colored character who is chased by a gang intending to kill him over petty crimes. While this is purely theoretical, the similarities are rather eerie, especially given the time period the cartoon was released. The disturbing nature of the cartoon has made its mark in pop
1935?
culture. From the Serbian alternative rock band Brigand naming their first album after the short, to the in-game achievement for beating the devil in Cuphead, being called Swing You Sinner, referencing the dynamic nature of this cartoon.
Dude, the thing with this one, here's the thing, bro. The thing with this one is the animation itself doesn't really freak me out until the point where it's like the montage of the demons just doing stuff, bro. I feel like that's an easy way to put propaganda in somebody's brain, brainwash them, bro. Give them hallucinations and stuff, bro. But the concept of it is pretty terrifying, bro. Like, he is begging and pleading for these ghosts that he's gonna change, and the ghosts don't care. They actively try to kill him, and then eventually do kill him and banish him to the shadow realm, where he is forced to suffer for all eternity, bro. Like, the concept of it is creepy, but it's not like I'm not gonna like wet the bed, you know what I mean? The Little Pest.
The Little Pest, 1931. Is there anything more cruel than taking
I'm
candy
losing
from
my
a-
mind, dude. I'm hearing another voice. Where is Jorge? I'm hearing strange voices in my brain, dude. I'm losing it. I'm losing. Maybe that dog cartoon, maybe the swing center, maybe it's doing things to my brain now. Maybe it's a little bit more demonic than I thought, bro. I'm just hearing all kinds of voices now, dude.
1931. Is there anything more cruel than taking candy from a baby? How about beating and drowning babies? Because that's a large part of the next cartoon, The Little Pest. This
Is there anything worse than taking candy from a baby? Beating them and drowning them! Dude! Like, I love how he just casually just drops that. Like, oh yeah, anything worse than taking candy? Yeah, you could always just beat them and drown them, dude. Like, yeah. He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Is there anything more cruel than taking candy from a baby? How about beating and drowning babies? Because that's a large part of the next cartoon, The Little Pest, distributed by Columbia Pictures in 1931. The short features that character Scrappy, a young boy who appears in cartoons from 1931 to 1941. Scrappy and his dog Yippee are on their way to the fishing hole to spend a summer's afternoon catching fish.
Why is it
Much
just
to
a
his
baby?
annoyance, his baby brother Oopie tags along,
That
singing
damn
songs
baby
and
brother.
being a positive influence. Scrappy repeatedly tells him to get lost, but Oopie wants nothing more than to hang out with his older brother. Scrappy gets more and more aggravated and begins to shove Oopie, and eventually outright smacks him. Despite knocking him several yards back, Oopie catches up to Scrappy and begins to fish
Beating his
alongside him.
ass.
After their fishing lines get tangled, Scrappy pushes his brother into the water out of anger. Oopie begins to drown, violently thrashing about in the water, screaming for help. Yippee looks incredibly concerned, but Scrappy pretends he doesn't hear anything and begins to walk away, whistling. A vision of an electric chair flashes through Scrappy's head, causing him to dive in and save his baby brother. Not because he genuinely cares about his sibling, but rather because he's scared of getting caught and blamed for his death. After pulling him onto land, he begins to panic that Oopie isn't breathing. Luckily, he
Usually
does
what happens when somebody
resuscitate him and
drowns.
saves his life. Oopie then states that he's thirsty, saying, "I want a drink of water." This angers Scrappy for some reason, and he chucks his baby brother right back in the water as the cartoon ends. Scrappy is an absolute piece of shit, and one hell of an abusive brother. It's clear.
Dude, stop, bro. he said, "Oh, you want some water? Oh, you want some water? Here's your stupid water, you dumb hoe," and just yeet that motherfucker. Dude, nah, bro. This is the funniest thing. This is the funniest shit, bro. Nah, dude. If aside from him almost drowning and dying and his brother not caring a single bit, dude, This is so funny, bro. How do you get your little brother off your back? You beat the hell out of him and attempt to drown him until your conscience tells you, oh no, you could get the death penalty for this if you are found guilty. So then you save the brother, you want some water, so you yeet his ass back in there, bro. This is so funny, bro. Stop, dude.
And then he chucks his baby brother right back in the water as the cartoon ends. Scrappy is an absolute piece of shit, and one hell of an abusive brother. It's clear that he has no conscience or any sort of attachment to his brother, highlighted by his motive for rescuing Oopie being to save his own skin. It's uncomfortable that such a violent and abusive character went on to be a media mascot with a massive amount of merchandise in the 30s. Luckily, nobody seems to really remember him these days. That's probably for the best.
Oh god, bro.
Feline Follies.
Feline Follies.
Despite being a well-known mascot, even to this day,
Oh, I know that.
did you know Felix the cat has been dead for nearly 100 years? Well, in a way. Felix made his first appearance in the 1919 silent cartoon Feline Follies, where he was actually named Master Tom. The 4-minute short follows Felix as he tries to get laid, and that really is the whole plot.
Just like
He
me.
meets a female cat, and they go spend some time together. However, while that's going on, some mice back at Felix's house take full advantage of the fact that there's no cat around to chase them. They eat all the food
He's in the
pantry,
cheeks,
drink
bro.
all the milk, and make an enormous mess. After an afternoon of cat sex, Felix returns home exhausted and falls asleep, too tired to notice the massive mess around him. However, his owner arrives and is horrified to see the mess. She assumes it was Felix and throws the confused cat out of the house, telling him to leave and never return. Felix goes to find his girlfriend now that he's homeless. To his surprise, there's a litter of 17 kittens waiting for him.
Oh,
His
he's a baby
kittens.
daddy.
Horrified by this new responsibility of raising a family, Felix runs away as fast as he can, eventually ending up at a gas drilling site.
Dude,
He finds an open pipe.
Dude, bro, listen. I went into this fully prepared to be traumatized, dude, right? This is disturbing old cartoons. This is the funniest shit, bro. Dude pulled up on his girl, saw that she had some babies, and he's like, hell no, I ain't raising these babies, and he dipped. Nah, bro. Nah, dude. He about to be on the Maury show, bro.
Kittens. Horrified by this new responsibility of raising a family, Felix runs away as fast as he can, eventually ending up at a gas drilling site. He finds an open pipe and sticks a hose onto it, turns it on, and puts it in his mouth, waiting for the gas to do its job and end his life.
Oh my
The
god.
cartoon ends with Felix presumably committing suicide.
Nice, dude. Nice,
Peanut
Chad.
Van.
So just know, Chad, if you wanna avoid raising children or paying child support, the only solution is to literally
The
do
cartoon ends with
this.
Felix presumably committing suicide.
That's great, bro. Literally demented.
Peanut Vendor, 1933.
Vendor.
Released in 1933, The Peanut Vendor might just be the first stop-motion film that freaked kids out. And with only a 1.5-minute runtime, that's pretty impressive. The story is,
What in
there
God's
is no story.
name?
It features a monkey by the seaside selling peanuts, while singing the song Peanut Vendor by Red Nickel.
What kind of monkey?
There really isn't much else to the setup other than that. The disturbing thing about this short comes through the monkey himself and his design. Like
That's
most stop-motion
terrifying.
films,
That's
the
terrifying.
movement of the characters is rather unnatural and otherworldly. This isn't always a bad thing, and can sometimes even add charm to the puppet's performances. This would be the same for the monkey, except its design is absolutely unnerving.
It's like bulging
Its eyes are
eyeballs.
enormous and unblinking, often staring directly into the camera and, by extent, the viewer. Its arms are as long as its entire body, and it just looks wrong when stretched out to their full extent. Our main character then breaks out into a dance number, albeit a very stilted one, and removes its own tail and spins it around his neck before it seamlessly merges back with this body. The music cuts out from time to time, leaving you with a second or two of silence with the thing staring at you.
Nah, bro.
Making it feel like
that's horrifying, dude. Hell
The film
no.
was created by Len Lai, a New Zealand artist who was known for his experimental films and kinetic sculpture. His strange and exotic work was widely admired, and his films and sculptures went on to be featured in galleries all across the world. From the British Film Institute to the Museum of Modern Art in New York City. The monkey itself is currently owned by the New Zealand Film Archive and currently resides there. All in all, The Peanut Vendor is a harmless short film that is still impressive to this day.
I wouldn't go that far.
However, is also pretty terrifying to this day.
Nice, now I'm gonna have nightmares, dude. I was having a great time, and
The
now...
Tale of the
just...
Priest and of His Workman Balda, 1930s. Our next entry also qualifies as lost media, as only 4 minutes of this film have been found and restored. The Tale of the Priest and of His Workman Balda is a Soviet feature film that was worked on throughout the 1930s. Work on it began in 1933 with Mikhail Sekhanovsky leading the project, basing it off of the fairy tale of the same name by Alexander Pushkin. Difficulties arose during production, partially thanks to the composer of the film leaving the project after publicly denouncing Sekhanovsky's work in an article. Due to not having a score as well as other production troubles, the film was never completed and was put into storage at the Len Film Archives, where it was almost lost in a fire during World War II. The only surviving footage is from the scene bazaar. The fairy tale itself was about a lazy priest looking for a cheap worker in the bazaar. He meets Balda, a simple-minded fellow who agrees to work for a year with no pay, with the exception that he be allowed to hit the priest on the head 3 times as well as have cooks spelt for food, a common wheat staple food in parts of Europe during the Bronze Age. The priest soon realizes that Balda is an exceptional worker, as well as incredibly strong. He gets worried and soon begins to ask Balda to complete impossible tasks, including gathering fabric from a sea devil. At the end of the story, Balda gives the priest 3 consecutive blows upon the head, causing him to lose his mind. Balda delivers the final line, saying, "You shouldn't have gone rushing off after cheapness." The surviving footage from the film version shows the beginning of the story, with the various shopkeepers of the bazaar off-selling their wares. We see many close-ups of these shopkeepers showcasing their rather creepy designs.
Nightmarish!
Their limited movement, exaggerated features, and bombastic behavior makes for an uncomfortably long 4 minutes, making it feel almost double its runtime. It's safe to assume that the entire film would have been this way if this is
He's
how
got
they planned it.
boobies!
Not everything about this is a loss. After the death of the film's composer, his wife arranged for one of his students to have the rest of the score for the film completed, which premiered at the Russian Philharmonic Orchestra in 2006.
That wasn't so bad.
Cameraman's Revenge,
That wasn't so bad.
1912.
Cameraman's Revenge.
The Cameraman's Revenge was produced in 1912 by the Korn-Zonkov Company.
Oh my
located
god.
in Moscow.
The Russians.
It
This isn't gonna
focuses
go
on Mr.
well.
and Mrs. Beetle and their failing marriage. The entire film is silent and done with stop motion.
Are those
featuring
roaches?
actual dead bugs attached to wires, with their limbs sealed with wax. Many people were so amazed and convinced by this effect that they thought the filmmaker, Ladislas Starovich, had trained live bugs to perform.
That's weird.
Mr. Beetle has become unhappy with his marriage, finding their love life has become rather boring. One night he heads to the gay Dragonfly nightclub to meet
Whoa,
his
whoa,
the dancer
whoa.
at the club. After beating her boyfriend, Mr. Beetle takes the dancer to a hotel where they have sex. Unknown to Mr. Beetle, though, the dancer's boyfriend is a cameraman who follows them to their hotel and secretly films their affair.
Dude,
Meanwhile,
what?
Mrs. Beetle herself is also in the middle of an affair with her artist friend. When Mr. Beetle returns home to find her in the middle of the affair, he throws the artist out in a rage. He forgives her, however, and she remains unaware of his affair. The two go out to see a movie, not knowing that the theater
This
they
is a
go
Jerry
to
Springer
is the very
episode,
same
bro.
one that the dancer's boyfriend works at. After seeing the Beatles arrive, the cameraman enacts his revenge and plays the film of Mr. Beetle having sex with a dancer on the projector for everyone to see, humiliating the couple publicly. Mrs. Beetle begins beating Mr. Beetle over the head with her umbrella. Enraged, Mr. Beetle runs up to the projection room and tackles the cameraman, causing the projector to catch on fire.
Dude, they're
The couple is arrested and thrown into jail, where they reconcile and spend the night together in the cell. But over a century old, the cameraman's revenge is Starovich's most famous film. It combines his two loves, graphic design and entomology, in a wonderful parody of parlor melodramas, which were very popular in Russia at the time. The way that dead insects are utilized is brilliant, if not a bit macabre. The delicate techniques used to carefully move each bug's limb without breaking off is incredibly impressive, especially given the fact that this was made in 1912. It is clearly a film aimed at adults, as many of the themes and jokes would fly over.
What makes you say that, dude?
As well as most likely frighten them, due to the use of stop-motion bug corpses. The attention to detail, dark humor, and macabre themes make this film an uncomfortable delight.
Delight is a stretch. Bro, that's wild, dude. That's fucking wild, dude. First of all, the fact that he used real dead bugs definitely freaks me out, bro. Dude was definitely a freak, bro. But, dude, what is that story? What is that story? His wife isn't freaky enough in bed anymore, so he goes and cheats on her, right? He goes to a club, does a dance battle against another beetle, and then he wins the girl, takes her back, cheats on his girl with the girl he just won in the dance battle, and then her boyfriend pulls up and films them like Ray J and Kim K. They fucking then they go to the movie. Dude shows the movie to everybody. The girlfriend beats Mr. Beetle for some reason. Mr. Beetle beats the shit out of the other guy. Everybody ends up in prison. Like, what is, like, dude? This is it, dude. Like, what? You can't tell me that they didn't rip that straight out of Jerry Springer.
The Mascot.
1933.
Our final and longest film is another stop-motion animation titled The Mascot. Clocking in at 25 minutes, it's incredibly impressive that such a long and high-quality stop-motion film was produced in 1933. Created by French filmmaker Ladislas Starwitz, The Mascot was actually one of the first animated feature films ever created, preceding Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The film is actually incredibly similar to Toy Story, or rather, Toy Story is similar to it. The premise features toys coming to life when humans aren't looking. The main character is a toy dog named Duffy, brought to life by a tear from his owner's mother. This gives Duffy a level of loyalty and sentiment that isn't present in any other of the living inanimate objects that are met throughout the film. Given the fact that it's early stop motion, there is a certain degree of unsettling movement present, a good amount of it actually. The amount of material used in this film is impressive, if not a bit disturbing. From vegetables and broken glass to chicken bones and dead chicks half born in their shell, Starwitz utilized everything at his disposal. Pixar was incredibly inspired by this film, showcased in Toy Story and A Bug's Life, with viewing the world from a smaller perspective. While Pixar usually takes a much more lighthearted and whimsical approach to these perspectives, The Mascot is
that
not.
doesn't. Buzz Lightyear's looking kind of clammy,
in Toy Story
bro.
2, there's a scene where the toys travel under an orange traffic cone in order to cross the street. While traffic is a mundane situation for us, we can feel the anxiety and tense atmosphere from their perspective, albeit in a comical fashion. A similar situation occurs in The Mascot, where we can see the dangers of the city from a toy's perspective, but the reality of it is much more present. One moment in particular shows a clown doll having his head amputated by the wheel of a car. It never gets reattached, and we see the rest of the body crumble away. The nature of stop motion, added with the realistic approach to smaller perspective of the world, makes this film deep, precise, and unnerving. Many credit Starwitz as the key figure in the development of stop-motion film, And after seeing the Mascot, it's very clear why. Utilizing the surreal nature of stop motion to their full potential, he realized the power of stop motion very early on and paved the way for many future creators, including The Nightmare Before Christmas's Henry Selick. Disturbing isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes it's the anxiety and fear that truly makes us feel alive.
That one wasn't so bad. Alright, dude, here's the thing. Some of them aren't as terrifying as I thought that they were going to be. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these, the bad things come from the concept. You know what I'm saying? Like the cat. He ended himself because he didn't want to pay child support. Like, that's awful, dude. That's awful. You know what I'm saying? Some of the animation was creepy. Like that demonic, freaky monkey, or whatever the hell they tried to convince me was a monkey. I'm still not even fully convinced that it is a monkey, dude. But, bro, this was wild. The beetle might have been the best thing I've ever seen, bro. Like, I'm literally watching an episode of Jerry Springer, but it's dead bugs, bro. That one is crazy. The one with the boy, and he's like pissed off at his little brother, so he just yeets him into the ocean, and then he almost drowns, saves him, and then yeets him back in there, bro. That might have been the funniest thing I've ever seen this past, like, 3 weeks, bro. Because that shit was hilarious, bro. But this wasn't as terrifying as I thought it was going to be. But there were still a lot of creepy elements that I was not ready for.